It looks as though there is still room for compromise. You have Viktor Orban today talking about the need for compromise, and as long as we've got political will, it might be possible. There were some fairly similar words coming out of the Polish leadership. So I think it's not impossible that in the big summit in December 10, it starts, you could have a kind of deal. I mean, the problem is that those who want the rule of law mechanism to stay and insist that it does stay are not backing down. They won't back down. The European Parliament, the European Commission, and other members of the EU. And the other thing is that the money, a lot of this budget money, and especially the COVID recovery money, is destined to go to Poland and to Hungary. So they will suffer almost the most of all the countries if the budget does not go through. So I think we could well see a compromise. But I think, the worrying thing, I suppose, for the EU is that freedom, democracy, and above all, the independence of the judiciary, which is really what is in question here in both Poland and Hungary, is absolutely fundamental to the way the EU is seen by most of its members. And so if Poland and Hungary are going against that, they're not really going to be welcome for much longer. But obviously nobody wants them to leave. They want them to change their ways.
Well, absolutely. And let me bring Philip Tallard on that. I mean, how serious do you view this stalemate to be? Is this, in your eyes, an existential moment for the EU, not unlike Brexit?
Well, I think what we're seeing here is a cross between a poker game where each one is trying to negotiate. They're going to win some, they're going to lose some, but at the end there'll be some kind of compromise, possibly next month with a bit of luck. Or we're in a waiting game where each side is going to sit and wait and see who can wait the longest before one side is going to give in. Now, Poland and Hungary receive about 5% of their GDP from Brussels, so they desperately need the money. But what they don't want is to feel like they're being blackmailed by Brussels into changing their ways when they've been accused of undermining the judiciary, being against same-sex marriage, in the case of Hungary, refusing to resettle migrants and putting pressure on Greece and Italy. So there is a lot of pressure on them to change their ways. But of course, they've got their eyes in the rearview mirror for the upcoming elections, and they don't want to lose those elections. So they're trying to stick to their agenda. And that's where there's a clash of ideas here. But the bottom line is that the behaviour by both Hungary and Poland is unacceptable to Brussels. So there's going to have to be some kind of compromise somewhere down the line. And it's true that the European Union doesn't want to lose those two countries, but it's not willing to put up with two countries laying down the law and at the same time demanding equal treatment of all the other countries get when they are respecting the rule of law that the EU has voted in. So it's, I think, a case of seeing how things work out between now and December. We'll see whether there has been a compromise. I'm optimistic there probably will be, because Hungary and Poland, as I said, they both need the money. But it depends who's going to give in first here, whether it's going to be the EU or the other EU countries in Brussels, or whether it's going to be Poland and Hungary who eventually say, OK, you've won, we'll accept. But it's going to be very difficult.
Could Gucci be losing its glow? The iconic Italian fashion house's sales grew by just 3.8% in the third quarter, missing analyst expectations. A disappointing result led to a slump in shares in its owner, French luxury goods giant Kering, on Wednesday. Its shares were down by more than 3% in early trading. The fall in Kering also dragged down shares in its French rivals, LVMH and Hermès. Luxury goods sales have bounced back strongly from the global health crisis as lockdowns ease and consumers return to socialising. However, shopping by travelling tourists, a key source of revenue for the sector, remains well below pre-crisis levels. Gucci, which accounts for more than half of Kering's annual sales, has been losing steam compared to some rivals after years of stellar growth. Sales at Kering's smaller fashion labels, Yves Saint Laurent and Bottega Veneta, grew briskly over the quarter, led by double-digit growth in North America and Europe.